Hey guys, welcome to Brian's Man Cave. So there's been a little bit of heat going around in the world of digital media. I've been following a little bit of the story. It's relating to the whole Sony and the PlayStation, and apparently Sony's the next one to start, axing some stuff off of their service. That the digital downloads. And some people are a little bit upset about it. I was just watching Smash JT's video. He's a little bit irked about it, about how they're just, removing content or removing access to content. I'm not 100% sure because, I feel like I'm just kind of inundated with this whole digital world that we live in. Perhaps, it's a sign of my generation. I grew up with the physical media surrounding me, and I figured it would always be there to some degree, just kind of morphing, changing, as you will. One thing I like to think about is obviously movies and TV is a big one, and I think that's what this whole Sony thing is. Anyways, it's shows and stuff that you can watch. But I look back at when I was a kid, for instance, movies were VHS. I grew up with VHS tapes. We got to buy them. We got to rent them. We even bought blank ones and would record stuff off the TV. You would kind of say, well, now I have that movie. And of course, I guess that's where the whole piracy thing started to come in. Back when the VHS recorder thing became a popular item, and it was kind of marketed as, hey, you could record your soap operas that you're not going to be able to watch because, at that time when things came on TV, you better have been there to watch it or else you're going to miss it. And then you're going to have to hope that one day a rerun will happen. And of course, it would sometimes happen and sometimes not. I mean, there's shows that maybe have gone on TV and never appeared on TV ever again. So if you had your VHS recorder and you had your videotape to tape it, you can watch it for seemingly ever. Obviously, there's going to be a point where these things could fail, and it's happened to me. I have a bunch of old VHS tapes where I've put it into my VCR, and yeah, the quality is completely shot. It's just unwatchable. My Nightmare on Elm Street VHS tapes that I have, I tried to watch one and I'm like, wow, it's so faded. I can't see anything. And that's just wear and tear, and it's going to happen. And of course, we ended up getting things like DVDs. So you can see I have the same movie because I loved the movie Tombstone. So I bought it on VHS back in the day. And I also ended up buying it when it came out on DVD. This is like some special edition one that came with an extra DVD, a little extra stuff, a booklet. So a little fun added feature to it, but it's the same movie regardless. And I figured, you know what, I gotta move on with the times. VHS is going away, bye-bye. And we have DVDs now. And of course, that wasn't going to be the end of it, and we knew that. We knew that these were going to get replaced, and sort of did with the Blu-ray, and remember HD discs, and there was even a laser disc, and a little, looks like a record, but it's a CD looking thing, and those came and went. In a sense, DVDs are still clinging to life somehow. I go into Walmart and I see bins of DVDs still going on for sale. So it's worth it to, still be picking these things up. And, even some of my favorites, like, this is the old clamshell one, Transformers, the movie. I still have the VHS for it. But I thought, there would be another transitional phase that would probably lead us more to something like this, like a USB style of thing. This is what I thought was going to happen based on the progress. Things are shrinking, things are becoming digital. I thought we would get to an age where it would be like, you would buy something like a almost like a USB stick. You would stick into something, and that would be your physical media. But we seem to jump right over that and went straight into a stream, or you have the ability to watch this now for, I guess, as long as it's going to stay recorded on some device that you might have, or some service that's going to be available, i.e. the PlayStation service that apparently allowed you to have access to these shows or movies or video games. And, so you figure, okay, well, I now think about when I first got our, one of those PVR devices for the cable company, and it's like you can record shows, you can watch them back anytime. And I thought, hey, this is great. This is sort of like the VHS days, only I don't need to have this complicated VHS tape. I don't have to put it into a VCR. I don't have to worry about setting a timer and hoping it works. I can just click a button that says record, and I recorded a whole bunch of things. And that was probably a few years ago. There's a few things that I recorded that I like to rewatch. Unfortunately, with the technology changing, the whole PVR box changing, and then it all going digital, now I don't have that box anymore. I had to give it back, and I got another little tiny box that doesn't actually save anything, and it allows me to kind of save, but not save. So I've lost all that stuff that I've saved before. That's all gone, never coming back. Now I have this other thing that allows me to kind of save, but not really. It probably won't be there in a year or two. And based on what I've, noticed, that's going to be the case. It's going to be gone. And we're going to have the same problem with video games. I mean, I remember buying this. This is the Activision Classics for the PlayStation. I also have it on the Windows 95, I believe it was. It was one of those Windows computer versions. I got it kicking around somewhere. But I remember buying the CD thinking, okay, you know what? Cartridges are dead. We're not going to have cartridges anymore. I mean, Nintendo 64 was one of the last consoles, I guess, to commercially have cartridges. I could be wrong. There might be another one. But it was at that decline when PlayStation came out and said, hey, we're going to use these fancy CDs as physical media. And I was kind of on the fence with it. I was like, okay, not as fun as a cartridge. I love the feel of a cartridge, but, a disc, and the other thing is with discs, I always worry about them scratching and, the condition of a CD versus a cartridge that tends to last a little bit longer. As far as being stored and not scratching or anything, like I play Atari cartridges that are like 40 years old, and all it takes is a quick Q-tip with some alcohol, and the thing works fine. I have a bunch of CDs that no longer work. I mean, they are scratched. I mean, sure, there might be some repair system you can get or some way of trying to repair them, but it just gets murky from there. And even with music is the same thing. I mean, I came from a world of cassette tapes. This is an old Motley Crue tape I had a long time ago. But yeah, this was what I remember. And of course, cassettes weren't the first. There was the 8 tracks before them, and of course vinyl records, which I also remember buying vinyl. Of course, now in today's world, these things are sort of making a comeback. Like, I've seen a few times now where the cassette tape was coming back, even though I can't seem to find myself a ghetto blaster anywhere or a stereo system that has a tape deck in it. They sort of came back at some point. Vinyl is bigger than ever now. It's like, I remember the last music store that I went into was just vinyl everywhere. And these stores seem to be popping up with vinyl. People are starting to say, hey, vinyl's better. So it's strange that we're going back to this, like, primitive, I guess you want to call it, media, and saying, hey, we want that. Even though we have iTunes and we have a ton of streaming services out there, you can go on and just listen, like Spotify. You can just go on YouTube. You want to listen to music, you can go on YouTube and type in the song you want to listen to. Chances are you're going to get the song and possibly even a video to go along with it. Perhaps the whole album just got uploaded to YouTube. And now it's like, okay, so now we're getting into this, what do you like better? Do you like it on streaming? Do you like it on physical? Do you have the capability of playing the physical? I mean, that's always going to be the problem. And of course, companies are going to look at it and be like, what's more profitable? Can we give you the physical? Can we give you the, even with the latest stuff with the Atari, this is the Atari 2600 that I have just sitting here. But the Atari 2600 Plus came out, and looks like the old Atari. It looks like it. It's got a controller that's supposed to be similar to it. It takes the physical cartridges, but in the end, it is emulating. It is dumping the ROM into the system. It is not running off the cartridge. It's taking that cartridge information and loading it into the system to play it. which is a little bit of a different technology. Not saying that it's a problem. I mean, it could be, you know, it could actually be beneficial because there's an ability to update and create upgrades. Whether that's going to ever happen or not, we're still the product just came out, and a lot of people are testing it. But, you know, it just shows how we're kind of going into this hybrid thing of now it is physical, but it's not physical. You know, we're going to sell you stuff that looks physical, but it's not physical. It is physical, but it ain't physical. Make up your mind. Anyway, I just thought I'd be, you know, chime in on this because it's interesting how this is developing, and I don't think we're going to, this is the end. There's no end game here. There's no end goal. I think we're just going to push towards this. We're going to want, you know, the manufacturers, the companies and all that, they're going to want to go digital, but the people eventually are going to say, hey, you know what? I want something tangible. I want to know I own something. I want to know that someone like a big corporation like Nintendo or Sony can't just come in and take my stuff away. I think we want to get to that point. Anyways, let me know what you think. Throw some comments down below. I always love to hear what you have to say. I hope you subscribe. We'll talk to you later.